well, from stop the boats to stop the Balkans, because the Prime Minister is heading to Hungary to sign a new deal to crack down on the criminal gangs who are smuggling migrants not across the Channel, but through the West Balkans.
Well, the agreement comes at the same time Donald Trump has been re-elected with a mandate for record mass deportations and to complete his wall at the Mexican border, I should say. His tough talk on immigration had thousands heading towards the US on election day, trying to get in before the president-elect took power, and Joe Biden was still there. Well, Cabinet Office Minister Pat McFadden joins us live. We'll talk about that in a moment, but the front page of the Daily Star, which often has a picture and an image to capture a political moment, they of the famous Liz Truss lettuce, has this. Well, this is awkward. Looking at some of the things that members of the Labour Party and members of the government have said about Donald Trump. Did your toes curl with awkwardness when you realised this time yesterday he was going to be the next president?
No, they didn't. I mean, it's obviously up to people in the United States who is president, not up to me. But look, on those things that have been said in the past, the truth is they've been said on both sides of the Atlantic and by people very close to President Trump, including his running mate, J.D. Vance, who said some pretty uncharitable things about him as well. I think the important thing is that the relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom is much deeper than any of that. It's much more long-lasting, and I feel positive about that friendship going forward. We've got a new government here in the UK, a newly elected president in the United States. The degree of cooperation I see as a member of the government every day on security, defence, intelligence, as well as the trading relationship is enormous. And that will continue over the next few years.
It's incredibly hard, isn't it, for you guys and for all governments around the world this morning to kind of war game as far as Trump's concerned, because he shoots from the lip. He says all kinds of things which never actually happened. That happened pre-2016. And in the end, he wasn't an immoderate American president, certainly not as immoderate as his speeches and comments before the election were. So how do you tackle that? How do you tackle the fact that he is essentially probably the most unpredictable American president in history?
I think you've made a really good point there, and it's one I've been advising others on as well, which is you have to see what the new president does and not just go on what's said in the middle of a fiery campaign. I mean, he's a fiery character. A lot of things are said in the middle of a campaign, but it's what he does that matters. And that's why, I think, the relationship is so good and something to draw optimism from, because he is a fan of the United Kingdom. He likes the United Kingdom. His mother came from Scotland. And so I think this is somebody who wishes our country well. And when you add that to the deep friendship that we've got and the level of cooperation that we exhibit with one another every day, then I think we can have a good working relationship. So I'm not too distracted by lots of things that are said on the campaign. I want to see what he actually does. And I think you've made a really good point about the actions that matter and not just campaign rhetoric.
He makes a lot of good points, Richard Madeley. Somebody else that's offering himself up as a potential way to smooth the next stages for the UK and the US is Nigel Farage. We saw him celebrating with Trump. He got a mention in the last days before the actual polling day as being a good friend. Will you be taking him up on his offer to help smooth things between the Labour government and Donald Trump?
Hasn't he got a job working for the people of Clacton that he was recently elected to a few months ago?
Well, the people of Clacton might like the idea that the UK and the US have a strong relationship. It could be useful for all.
Well, we do have a strong relationship and we want to keep that. And that's why the Prime Minister spoke to the President-elect last night. We've got an excellent ambassador working for us in the United States at the moment. That's why we have deep cooperation between our defence forces every day. This friendship is really important to people all over the UK, and it will be a big priority for this government, because we know that being an ally of the United States, standing with the United States, being a friend of the United States is in Britain's interests, and the two of us acting together is in the interests of the world too.
I'd really like your political analysis on this, based on all your experience. I mean, your party has just won a big victory from the left. Kamala Harris has just had a stunning defeat on the left. What went wrong for her campaign, do you think? Where did you... I mean, you guys got it right, you won. She got it wrong and she lost big time. Where did she go wrong?
Well, I've been involved in campaigns that have both lost and won over the years, and so I don't really want to be giving out lectures to people who've been on the wrong end of an election result, because I know how they'll be feeling after that. But commenting on ourselves, what I'd say is that this pocketbook question that President Trump posed in the campaign, do you feel better off than you did 4 years ago? That was a question we posed, actually. And that's why, since we came into government, we've had a close eye on these pocketbook issues. That's why we froze fuel duty, we raised the minimum wage, we're letting carers earn more money while they balance their caring responsibilities and so on. And these kind of things were at the heart of the budget last week, precisely because when it comes to the relationship between a political party or a government and the voters, this issue of how you pay the bills every month and how you're feeling about your own prosperity is really important. It was at the heart of our budget, and it's been at the heart of the changes that we've made in the Labour Party over the last few years.
Yeah, it's the old phrase, it's the economy, stupid, isn't it, that comes back again. They also want delivery, though, both for your government and for Donald Trump.
Yeah, they do, and delivery is important. And, you know, we've now put the public finances on a stable basis. We've said we're going to invest more in things like health and education and housing, and we know we've got to deliver that over the next few years.
All right, Mr. McFadden, we'll keep pushing you on that point as the years drift by. Thank you for your time this morning.